my name is Peter. Good morning. And,
Good morning, Peter.
Good morning. And today we will start designing. At the end of the afternoon we will make an exercise together. And before we can do this, I will have to teach you a few things that you didn't learn until now, that are very important in a food forest or in a permaculture garden. Now, what is the most important element in a permaculture garden? Water. So we start with water. So we receive water from the rain. Now, usually the water runs off. So if we want to slow down the water, imagine water is running and you want to slow down the water that it walks. There are different ways of doing this. One of the ways of doing it is to make a swale. We all the time use swales. Why we do make a swale? Because we want to create the conditions of a forest. We don't have a forest, but we want to create a forest, so we make the conditions of a forest. What do we start with? We try to store a maximum amount of water in the ground. We create a situation that the water cannot be lost after in the rain, but we catch it and we give it time to go into the soil. There we plant trees, and these trees, they with organic material, with fungi, with charakim, it works like a sponge, and we were capable of holding a maximum amount of water. How do we? Every piece of land has a shipua, a little bit, a lot, and because it has a shipua, when it starts raining, the water, most of the water goes down the slope and doesn't have time to soak into the ground. So a swale is a ditch, a canal that you make, and the sand that comes out of it, you put it next to it. So here you can see how it goes. The shipua is like this, the hill. You make a canal and the berm, which makes that under this part you get accumulation of water over the years. The first year, the second year, the third year, and the time in the summer that you need to water your trees gets shorter and shorter and shorter. Also, year after year, what you plant here becomes bigger, more roots, more organic material in the soil, so the capability of being a sponge also gets bigger. In an adult forest, you don't have swales. You don't need them because there's so much organic material that they catch the rain perfect. Now what we do, we make swales, and we let these systems grow together. And over the years, they disappear, the swales. But it's a perfect tool of creating the conditions of building a food forest or a permaculture garden. Just after the rain, in a few hours the water will be gone, and this is exactly what it should be. It's not a canal where you have constant water, because then you get water logging, which is bad for the trees, the roots, but you want it just a few hours or a night, that the next morning all the water is in the ground. Same height, so not a river where the water is gone in 10 minutes. No, something horizontal, that if it rains here, it spreads everywhere. Now, how do you find all these points? We call them contour lines, and there is a website on the internet. You should, I can show you later. It's Contour Map Creator, that gives you an impression of where are the contour lines in a landscape that is not disturbed. But we make roads, we make houses, we make big buildings. So in reality, the contour lines, they are disturbed. So you have, if you make a design for a garden, your own garden, or for a client, you have to check on the spot itself what is the situation. But before already you can have an impression. Now this one, I don't think that you can see it, but I can go around. This is a project that Lia'ar and I are doing. It's under construction. I mean, the clients already planted a lot of trees. Very classic way of finding the contour lines. Estigmus. It means that you have one tube.
זה בשביל שעושים שיח, לא?
You have one tube with water, and the idea is that the water is always in the same level, wherever you are. Now, if I keep this one at the same height, and I mark the level of the water, I can walk around with this one until it's at the same height. And then we can put a mark here, and go to the next one. And you understand?
זה חוק הכלים השלובים.
נכון, yeah. It's in Hebrew, the water, חוק הכלים השלובים, that water always will be at the same height.
Yes. And it helps
same
you
level.
to find all the places that are in the same line, in the same height. So we will make an exercise here to find on the side of this laser. We will show you later on two projects. A small one that is the size of a private garden, and we'll show you a big project, 3 dunam, and there it's much more practical to work with the laser because you can step from step. Okay. As a consultant, and we say you're crazy. You have to do it exact. If you don't want damage, you have to stop the water. You have to allow the water to stay there, get into the ground, and let it work for you instead of getting it out. So now he is waiting for the first rain. And what you hear from people who have systems, water systems with swales, they're waiting for the rain because it's super exciting to see that you're catching it. They're standing outside and they see how the water is filling up the swales. It's really fun.
And there's also between swale and swale, we choose where the water will go out. Yeah. So there's areas that we do like pipes, that once the swale goes get overflow, so there's like an overflow, so it doesn't choose wherever it wants to break out. There's overflow pipes, and they can also turn them to decide how full they want the swales, and then it will carry on to the next swale and next swale and next swale. So it won't be overflow or things just flowing and destroying the food forest.
Now, a swale, when the swale is finished, it's the ditch plus the berm plus the vegetation.
But the vegetation would be on the berm, not on in the ditch.
So you make no, not in the ditch. No,
yes,
not in the ditch. So your most expensive trees you plant on the good side.
Yes.
And the cheap ones that help you to create a lot of organic material, you plant them here. And then when the forest matures, you don't need the cheap ones anymore because the conditions are there for everywhere the good trees. What is helpful and what is important is that you put mulch to start. In Liaur's garden, so you need to put more up. Yes, more up. Yeah, good. It's good. Second person here, please. Look, you can see. Here. Points that are in the same level. If you make a tala exactly following this line, it's not like this, but it's horizontal. So if the rain comes and it's only raining there with you, the water will divide itself.
But the canal needs to be also
the canal,
same depth.
Yes. So now we know where to make the canal. When the person comes who's going to do the digging, we need to check that the bottom of the canal is also good. So sticks stand together on the same level. The water is the same level. And I put a mark. Yes? Now if you start walking with this one, be careful. And you're going to find a place that the water will be at the same level as this one.
Here.
That's easier. כן. But זהו.
נגיד ליד העץ, יכול להיות.
You can see where's your water? It's moving, huh?
Yeah,
So this is till you find the right place.
הרומאים והיוונים.
You understand what we're doing? This one is here, and you want to find the second point that's exactly the same height. Yes, it's this much different.
Ah, well.
איזה ידע עולם.
It will also be good if we want to do steps or we want to do anything in the same height.
Shetach, there are surprising things because you think that the land is like this, but actually it's like this or like this, and you find out here, like with the stichmus or with the laser.